The Peacemaker Season 2 finale split the fandom right down the middle. Some called it bold, others called it a waste. Tonight, what the episode actually sets up, why fans are mad, where the storytelling worked, where it didn't, and what it tells us about the DCU's next moves. Buckle up, we're cutting through hype, headcanon, and heartbreak. Let's talk about that ending, and why it matters. Number 1. What actually happened. The finale plants 3 big flags. Argus versus Checkmate is the new ideological war. Rick Flag Sr. weaponizes a solution to metahumans, Salvation, a hostile exile world/dimension, and uses Peacemaker as the first test subject. Meanwhile, Harcourt, Adebayo, Vigilante, and Sasha Bordeaux seed Checkmate as a counterforce. Season 2 ends by reframing the show into a spy thriller chess match about who gets to decide what peace costs. Salvation isn't just a cliffhanger, it's a cross-project bridge. Multiple outlets connect the finale's beats to the wider DCU slate, especially teasing how this ideological split bleeds into the next wave of projects. Even the "why did we end here" is answered if you zoom out. It's an on-ramp to the shared universe phase, not merely a Season 3 teaser. No promised Season 3 for now. Here's the gut punch. Despite that big setup, there's no official Season 3 on the board right now. Gunn's messaging has been characters continue and the payoff lands in the broader DCU, not necessarily in a Peacemaker S3. That shift in expectation is the fuse for a lot of the backlash. Number 2. The good, where Season 2 hits hard. Let's give credit where it's due. Season 2 isn't coasting. Character first, noise second. The show doubles down on Chris Smith's trauma and growth without hiding behind cameos. The finale's choice to end with a moral dilemma, define peace by control or by conscience, Checkmate 11th Street Kids, is thematically consistent with Peacemaker's healing journey. It's not about a bigger laser, it's about a clearer line, a coherent bridge to DCU phase next. Moving pieces, Checkmate's formation, metahuman policy, interdimensional stakes feel like deliberate world building, not random puzzle dumping. Outlets tracking the finale underline that its events are designed to matter outside this series silo, which is exactly how shared universes should behave. Risks over fan service. The internet expected a rainstorm of capes. The show says no. That restraint is gutsy. Some critics actually liked that the finale chose emotional beats over cameo bingo. Internal logic of the stakes. Rick Flag Sr.'s worldview, born from grief and control, tracks. Weaponizing salvation to remove dangerous variables makes tragic sense for a man who thinks fences are mercy, and using Peacemaker as the test case stings, which is the point. Number 3. The bad, where it trips. Now the misses, because the frustration isn't baseless. Finale shape problem. Even fans who enjoy character-driven endings said Episode 7 felt like the real climax, and Episode 8 felt like an epilogue with a giant to-be-continued stamp. If your last taste is setup, casual viewers feel unfed, especially when the show isn't promising S3 next month. Expectation versus delivery gap. Weeks of online buzz primed people for big-ticket crossovers and game-changing reveals. The creative team never promised all that explicitly, but the ecosystem of speculation did. When the finale landed soft on spectacle, a chunk of the audience felt baited. Cliffhanger plus no S3 equals bitter aftertaste. Ending with Chris marooned on Salvation can be thrilling if you know the continuation runway, but with public statements leaning no plans for Season 3 right now, you've basically framed your hero and then told fans, we'll resolve this elsewhere. Eventually, that messaging cocktail brewed genuine resentment. Cameo economics. Right or wrong, a significant slice of superhero TV viewership has been trained to expect crossover sugar rushes. Peacemaker Season 2 asked them to accept a lower sugar finale with higher fiber. The audience's metabolism rebelled. Number 4. Fandom temperature red. Let's sample the pulse. Outrage Lane posts blasting the finale as not good TV, arguing Episode 8 plays like a half pilot for something else, not a capstone. Many point at Episode 7 as the true emotional crescendo. Fender Lane. Others praised the choice to prioritize character arcs and policy stakes, calling the finale overhated and arguing a Peacemaker story ending on a hard ethical fork is on brand. Middle Lane. I lied it, but don't strand me for years. Even sympathetic viewers wanted a firmer sense of when this pays off. And yes, the superhero hype piece captured that split neatly, documenting how lack of cameos, cliffhanger, and future setup first, payoff later sparked the pile-on, while some viewers appreciated the epilogue tone. Number 5. Filling the gaps the article skipped. A few loose ends needed stitching. What exactly is salvation in canon terms? Coverage frames salvation as a meta-human prison dimension/world. The Raps explainer walks through how it functions in the finale and why Flag Sr. thinks it's the answer. The implication: it's a scalable policy tool, not just a plot cul-de-sac. That's huge for DCU geopolitics. Why form Checkmate versus just Team Peacemaker forever? Because the show is evolving out of found family into institutions in conflict. Checkmate isn't a hangout, designed to oppose the very Argus tactics that broke Chris in the first place. This is a governing philosophy fight, not just a villain of the week upgrade. Is Season 3 actually off? No confirmation, no immediate plan. Some coverage leans unlikely soon, with consistent messaging that characters will surface in other DCU entries. It means not now. Plan your coping mechanisms accordingly. Then where do we see payoff? Industry trackers outline the next DCU projects, series and films slated after Peacemaker S2. The connective tissue points to those being the payoff lanes for Checkmate/Salvation threads. Number 6. Craft breakdown. Here's the filmmaker read: structure versus seasonality. The finale plays like chapter 1 of the next book, not chapter 20 of this one. That's a valid creative choice, but it violates the season contract many viewers expect: emotional closure inside the show that asked for your 8 weeks. Thematic integrity, spectacle dead. Choosing ethics over explosions fits Peacemaker's soul, but the broader superhero TV climate has trained people to anticipate an OMG moment in final minutes. When you swap fireworks for frameworks, a chunk of the audience reads that as nothing happened, even if the policy stakes are bigger than any skybeam. Communications gap. If your ending relies on external projects for closure, you must over-communicate the roadmap. Instead, public signals said, no S3 now, with only vague pointers to the DCU. That's great if you trust the process, maddening if you just wanted your show to land its own plane. Number 7. Where the DCU goes next. So, where do these threads likely surface? Lanterns, series, universe-shaping investigation vibes. A perfect venue to touch the policy and infrastructure side, without needing Peacemaker on screen every week. Supergirl, film. Cosmic scale and outsider themes could echo the what do we do with metahumans question bubbling from Salvation. Clayface, on film. If the DCU leans into the ethics of containment versus rehabilitation, a character like Clayface becomes a litmus test. Core DCU tentpoles. Multiple outlets stress that Season 2's ending seeds the shared universe, not a Peacemaker-only cul-de-sac. Expect Checkmate versus Argus to become a franchise-wide question more than a single-show subplot. Peacemaker's finale was less series finale and more policy pilot for the DCU. If that irritates you, you're not wrong. If that excites you, you're also not wrong. Number 8. Final verdict. Strengths: cohesive theme, character continuity, gutsy refusal to cameo chase, clear architecture for what's next. Weaknesses: finale pacing/shape, communications misfire about when we'll see payoff, a cliffhanger that reads punitive without an S3 date, and expectations inflated by the broader superhero hype machine. If you value story spine over fireworks, strong. If you value season closure over franchise setup, frustrating. If you wanted both, you're the modern superhero audience, and you deserve snacks at the credits. Rotten Tomatoes, 96%. Alright, your turn. 2 questions. Pick a side in the comments. Was the Peacemaker finale smart world building or cheap cliffhanger? If you ran the DCU, would you resolve Salvation in a Peacemaker S3 or weave it through Lanterns or Supergirl films first? Why? I'm reading the top 50 comments and pinning the spiciest, smartest takes. If you made it this far, you're the kind of fan who actually moves the needle. Where we don't just recap the episode, we stress test the universe. Hit like, sub, and tell me if I'm wrong. I can take it. Mostly.